Hi, and welcome to the help video for viewing options for site options. The first thing we want to do from the main menu is to select the administration area. And then from the administration menu, we want to choose sites. Once we're in the site module, we want to choose the website that we want to change the viewing options for. We choose the site options bar down at the bottom. And then from our site options area, we're going to choose viewing options. Inside of viewing options, we have many different options that we can employ to our site. Things from changing banners to backgrounds, favorite icons, custom homepage banners, default banners for all the rest of the pages, drill down pages within the site. We can choose from a mass array of different buttons that we're going to use that that your web template can default to. But let's begin at the very top here with background images. If we take a look at this site in its current state, we see that it has a background image that has a darker background at top and then kind of gradients down into a blue. If we remove that background image just by clicking on the Remove Background Image button, choosing Yes, and go back and refresh this page, we're going to see that that background has now been removed from the site. We can change the color of this background by choosing the background color selector. So if we wanted to make it a dark brown or a light brown there, choose that color, choose Save, and now if we refresh that page, we're going to see that it now has that colored background. If we want to go back to the original color for it, let's do that real quick. Just choose that, and we can actually put in our own HTML colors, or we can select from the color scale. Go ahead and save that. And you'll see that it's back to that blue color again. Now let's go ahead and reapply our background image that we had before to it. So we're going to go and select our background image. You'll notice that our background image is a very thin bar, so we're going to want to make that repeat in a particular direction. You can repeat horizontally, you can repeat vertically, you can fix an image if it's the same size of the background that you want to use. You can set the positioning for the background image to begin. That would be top and left in this case. Once we've uploaded that image, we're going to go ahead and say Save. And now when we refresh, we'll see that our image is back again. To give you an example of what happens when we turn off repeating, let's go ahead and turn that off and save it. And what you'll notice now is that that background image is just that thin bar along the left column. If I adjust the positioning for that bar, I can put it at center, top center, middle center, right. Let's go over to the right with it, and what you'll see happen there is now when I refresh, it's going to move that image to over here. So that gives you an idea of how you can manipulate that background image to start it in whatever position you want and have it repeat or be fixed. Each background is a little different, and each background will require you to set it in its proper positions so that it will perform the way that you want it to perform. Let's now take a look at the site icon. The site icon is the icon that usually is found right next to within the tab on a browser, which kind of gives you an indication of what site you're on. It'll also show up in the address bar. This is a special file. It's an ICO file, not just a regular image file. There's plenty of sites that you can go to actually create an ICO file. If you do a search in Google, you'll be able to find these sites that will allow you to do that. Once you create your ICO file, you can upload it here, and it will be used throughout your site as your fave icon. Now let's look at custom logos. The custom logo in this case is this area right up here where it says molecular software. If I take that logo away and just remove it, you'll see that what it'll do is in its place it'll put the description of the site, element demo site, in that area. Each template is designated to place its custom logo where the template requires that logo to be. So if we upload a custom logo, and you'll notice anytime that you have either a banner or a logo, it'll tell you the size that that logo needs to be for that particular template. So let's click on Upload Custom Logo, and let's go choose the logo that we want to use. The logo can be a SWIFT file, which is a Flash movie. It can be any kind of image file, PNG, JPEG, GIF. But let's go ahead and select that SWIFT file. That's the one that we had before. If I do a refresh, you will see that that Flash movie is back now as the custom logo. Moving down to custom homepage banner. Now we have two different sections here. We have a homepage banner, and then we have a custom default banner for all other pages. These are all your drill down pages, every page other than the home page. The reason that we split these up is usually the homepage banner is sometimes in a different dimension. It's usually larger and more prominent, where when you get into the drill down pages, you want a smaller banner because the content is more important on that page than the imagery. So if we remove that custom banner, you'll see that the banner, it tells you what banner size it is. You can also point it to a file that you've uploaded using the multimedia files. You just enter in the URL path to it. So it would be, of course, resources / let's say images / banner.jpg. So if you had a file in your resources directory under images called banner.jpg, and then you save this, it would use that image to use as your custom home page banner. In our case, we're going to go ahead and just click on the Upload Custom Banner. We're going to go choose our default, and this of course can be Flash movie, JPEG, PNG, GIF as well. So let's go ahead and choose our Flash movie. Oh, I did forget to show you when we do have it removed, it'll go to a default. And what this basically is just a default image for this template that shows you that you can put a custom image banner there. So let's go and upload that custom banner. And now when we look at it, it's replaced it with the Flash movie that we've put in its place to use as the custom default home banner. Same thing applies with the default banner for all other pages, and we're referring to all these pages. These are the drill down pages that's beyond your home page itself. And the same thing applies with it. If I was to remove that, it would tell you the dimensions, and you can also point to one that you've already uploaded in the resource files. Again, with throughout Element, we always have the help icons next to each field, which will describe to you in much more detail what that particular field input is used for and how to use it. Down below the custom default banners, we have the button styles, and the button styles are referring to these buttons that you see on the screen on your site. You can embed these buttons yourself using the content editor, and they're also the default buttons that are used for news listings and event listings and anything that would have a more button, or like in your job postings, your go buttons, details buttons, all of these things. So right now you can see we're using Midnight Blue. That's what, and if you double click, if you do a double left click on it, you can see it in more detail. So if I wanted to see what Midnight Green looked like, or so forth and so on. since we have so many of these buttons, we've got a way to filter those. Like if you have a dark background site or you have a light background site, if I chose light background, it's going to filter that down to just buttons that are made for white backgrounds. Then you can select a particular color. Let's say, oh, we want to go with black as the predominant color. So that's going to bring it down even further. You can select a type. Do you want it to be rounded or squared? These are the rounded style buttons. Let's say no, we want squared. There's our midnight blue that we've been using. And you'll notice that this midnight blue is a little bit different than the one that we're currently using because we've chosen a light background instead of a dark one. If we choose the midnight blue that's got the dark background, we get a little bit different look to it. So let's just set this all back to grabbing all the different styles. There's also arrow and solid, and there's series that you can select from. But if we look at the rounded style of the midnight blue that we had before, if we wanted to select that, we just highlight it, click on save, and now when we refresh this page, you'll see that we go to a rounded style button instead of a square style. Again, we can choose all kinds of different colors and all kinds of different schemes that we want to use. Save that, refresh, and we're at a blue style button. And you can change these buttons at any time throughout the life cycle of your site. And for help, for further help on the viewing options section, it's all found within the help for the site module. So if you exit out of the viewing options area and then click on help, you're going to get a PDF document that gives full details on all of those different site options, including that viewing options section. This will tell you in more detail, give you a kind of a description of each of the different fields and the things that you could do. That's the conclusion of the viewing options. Thank you very much.